Hello my fragrance friends, it's Kat and I'm back today to talk about the Sol de Janeiro body mists. Now they've been popular for a long time. There is a new one, well limited edition one that has been re-released and people are going crazy for. I decided to buy it and see what the hassle is about. So let's talk about this one, which is a coconut gourmand. But after we do that, I'm also going to talk about the three others that I own and just let you know what my thoughts are on each of them and as a concept overall. So this sort of aqua bottle, number 39, is the one that is a limited edition that is out at the moment. So Sol de Janeiro do bring out multiple limited edition ones. This was actually originally released in 2019. So it is one that's been brought back and it was a fan favorite. The notes of this, there's coconut, vanilla, orchid, praline, sandalwood. Now I do love a gourmand. Coconut is one of those fragrances that can go a bit iffy on me and it can give me a headache if it's too sunscreeny, if it's too medicinal. Some people are like, what's a medicinal coconut? Essentially, when I was younger, I had this medicine, this liquid medicine that was really coconut, artificial coconut scented, and it made me feel really sick. And I've had a coconut aversion ever since. But I do quite like the really gourmand, creamy coconut. So sometimes I can handle coconut. And I've been told that this one is sort of like a bounty bar. It's just really, really gourmand and yummy. This surprised me because I don't love it and it's not for the reasons why I originally thought. I do have a friend that has the original. I haven't smelled the original, but she did go and smell this new release one and she's saying it smells very different. So whether that has evolved over time, whether this has been tweaked slightly, I'm not too sure. But to me, this is really salty. It's like it's like salted coconut and there's no salt notes in it. It just smells almost a little bit like sweat, like sweet coconut and sweat. Now that sweaty, salty smell does eventually sort of die down. And then you are left with this sort of vanilla-y coconut scent, but it's so light that it doesn't feel like it's worth the hassle in my opinion. So for me, this new re-released one anyway, isn't worth it. It is odd. If you want salt water mixed with a sweet coconut vanilla scent, then this is it. But I don't mind a bit of salt in a fragrance, but this is too salty. Now onto the other ones that I have in my stash. Now I've only got 4 fragrances here, but they do have a permanent range that there might be about like 8 of them or something. I'll have images on the screen. And then they do bring out limited edition ones, especially around summer. So every year there's something sort of new coming in. But the most popular one, probably without a doubt, is 62. This one is described as pistachio and salted caramel, but there's a lot more to it. Now, when I'm smelling this on the paper strip anyway, I just get a lot of floral. This is just like perfume floral. When I spray it on my skin, I can get a lot of almond. So the top notes, there's pistachio and almond, definitely a nutty opening. Once the really strong alcohol scent has dissipated a bit, it smells very much like almond. Middle notes are heliotrope and jasmine, which I get a lot of. And then base notes is caramel, vanilla, salt, and sandalwood. Ironically, this one has salt and I don't smell it, whereas the other one doesn't have salt and that's all I can smell at the start. I can understand why this is really popular because it does give you that sort of sun tanning lotion, beachy vibe where it is quite sweet, it is quite nutty. It smells a little bit like fake tan, like it's got that summery vibe to it, so I understand why people really like this in summer. It's not my favorite one by any means. And I just think that on me, some of the notes that I don't love come out strong. And then the notes that I do like, of like the vanillas and the caramels and whatnot, that tends to come out when it's already starting to fade down. This is the only mist that has a perfume version. So if you did want a perfume version of this, they do have one. I haven't tried it because this is not my favorite. If you do really love caramel, the one that I would recommend, and this one is quite scary, like it puts off a lot of people, I understand, but number 71, the one that I have in a big bottle, this one I like the most because this is very, very strong. So when you get to that beautiful caramel dry down, it lasts really, really well. And it's also really nice to layer. So this one is a much more caramel dominant scent. So 71 is described as caramelized vanilla and macadamia. Now, I don't get macadamia, I get popcorn. And some people are really put off by that, but I actually quite like that caramel popcorn vibe. So I'm not getting salt, like strong salt, but I'm getting almost this buttery caramel vibe to it, which I do like. There might be some nuttiness that just makes it very sort of cozy, but it's not as obvious nutty as 62 is. So the notes of this are caramel macadamia, vanilla, white chocolate, sea salt, and coconut blossom. And it's very yummy. This almost smells like, it starts with the sort of caramel popcorn salty and it goes into more like a caramel biscuit, like an ooey caramel biscuit. What I like about this is that it is, in my opinion, the strongest of the 4 that I have. So it actually performs a bit like a perfume. So when you do get to that beautiful sort of caramel warm dry down, it does linger quite a long time. This is also quite nice if you want to spray it in your hair. So I do like this one, which is why I've got the big bottle of it. To be fair though, this is really expensive for what it is, and you can dupe it now in a perfume version. So probably the most well-known perfume that you can get that seems to be inspired by this is Paris Corner Molten Caramel. So that one is much stronger because it's a perfume, but it has that sort of salty popcorn caramel opening and settles down to a caramel. So you can actually get perfume versions of this, which is my preference of scent delivery, but this is where it sort of all started. And there's a few other dupe brands as well. I'll have some on the screen that do a dupe version quite nicely. There's also dupe versions of 62 as well. So if you didn't want to spend Sol de Janeiro prices, have a look around. There's quite a lot of inspired by brands that do perfume versions of this one too. In case you're like, how dare you suggest dupes and inspired buys? That's dishonest or something. Number 68, let's talk about it. This is this claims to be Brazilian jasmine, pink grapefruit. It's also got lychee, jasmine, sea notes, hibiscus, vanilla musk. Now, this is quite well known to be a body mist dupe for Baccarat Rouge 540. So this is Sol de Janeiro's take on that. And I think this is very nice. I think this is probably the most sort of crowd pleaser version. So if you're thinking of buying one for a friend and you don't exactly know what fragrance they're going to like, maybe they're not hugely into fragrances, maybe a popcorn caramel is going to put them off or a salty coconut is not their thing, this is a very pleasant one. It's a very generic, sort of sweet, slightly fruity, very light, airy one, but it definitely has Baccarat Rouge sort of inspiration to it. Like, it's undeniable. It's not the same. It's obviously a body mist version, but this is Sol de Janeiro's take on it. I think it's nicely done, but again, it's a body mist, so it dissipates fairly quickly. If you wanted like a clothes mist or a hair mist version of Baccarat Rouge 540, like this one will do the job. So I remember hearing a fact that Sol de Janeiro body mists are the most popular fragrance sold in Sephora. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but I remember hearing it and it doesn't surprise me. And this is US, by the way, because these are actually sold in Australia in Mecca. But it doesn't surprise me, and it shows that body mists are coming back in a big way. I do remember when I was younger, body mists were really, really popular, and that was a way that I sort of got into fragrances. So it's just the next generation's version of it. The main difference between these and the ones that I used when I was younger, yes, okay, some of these smell a bit nicer, sure, but these are a lot more expensive. So this big one is 62 Australian dollars for 240 mils. Granted, it's quite large. And the 90 mil versions are 41 Australian dollars. This version you can get in like little sampler packs. So I got this as like a free gift, but you can get them in like 4-pack samplers. So that's essentially how you buy them, and they're not cheap. So overall, would I recommend these? Look, not really, because I think for the price of these are just watered down fragrances, and they're being sold at the price of sort of maybe celebrity or even some Middle Eastern fragrances. So for me, I don't think these are necessarily worth the money, especially since the majority of them don't have longevity, so you need to reapply a couple of times a day. This is definitely the strongest, and the one that I think is sort of semi-rivals the longevity of a perfume. But if you like one of the scents of these and you want to use it just as like a light body mist or a hair mist or even on your clothes, they are fun. And some of the fragrances they bring out, I think, are quite unique and quite delicious for the body mist realm, but I'm not really sold on them. I'm probably going to use these ones up. This one I could see myself repurchasing, but since I do have some perfume versions, I'd have to see. But even just testing this one out again today, I'm like, yeah, I know why I got on the bandwagon of this. I know why I tested it in store. I was smelling it throughout the day and I was like, I've got to go back and get it. And then my interest in this sort of led me down the path of these, hoping that I'd find another one that I really fall in love with. But in reality, like, this is, in my opinion, as a gourmand lover, the best one. And this one, in my opinion, unfortunately doesn't live up to the hype of when it came out originally in 2019. I don't know if it was as salty back then, but that sort of gourmand coconut vibe that I hear people talking about at the moment, I'm not getting it from this. So maybe, I don't know, does it develop? I don't think so. This is just like a coconut beach, salty, sweaty mist. Let me know what you think of Sol de Janeiro body mists, or body mists in general, because I think they have really set the trend of you can sell body mists at a premium price, make a crazy markup, and people will buy them. So, and I'm guilty of that. So let me know what you think about them in general, what your favorite scent is from the range, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.